Hi, welcome to Formarte English Academy. My name is Joel Diaz, and I've been a teacher for more than 20 years, and also I've been teaching for these Cambridge courses for at least 6 years. Most of all, I've been teaching students for them to get the B2 and C1. And also recently, like in the last 2 years, I've been teaching also teachers so that they can get this level. First of all, let me explain to you how this test works and the format of this test. This C1 test, which is the CAE, the CAE, is it's not an easy test. I want to be honest with you. This is not something that you can just do without studying, without knowing the different parts of the test. It's very, very important for you to know step by step what parts these tests have. Also, I'm going to give you some tips that are very important for you to study and to learn. And something that is very important, believe it or not, we as teachers, some grammar parts, we might not even know what grammar parts this test involves. And sometimes we as teachers, we just teach, for example, we just teaching seventh graders or even 10th graders. We only do we only learn or practice certain grammar. But for this test, it's very, very important for us to know, for example, collocations. Some other example that I'm thinking of is the different ways of how to use a gerund. Sometimes we only know that with some verbs we use gerunds, but there's more than that. There's more rules than that. And also for infinitives and prepositional phrases. I mean, all those kind of things are very important for us to learn and to understand little by little so that we could be able to do a very good test or to get or to obtain this C1 level. But let me explain to you very quick how this test works. And first of all, you will have, depending on the points that you get on this test, you will get, for example, C1C. That means that you really, I mean, you had the limit, no, if you get less than that, you might be even get a B2. So if you get a C1C, don't worry, you got the C1 level. You might get the C1B, which is that's a higher level regarding the C1. But there's something very interesting. If you get the C1A, they will include in your certificate a C2. So, I mean, that's the highest level that someone can get. So, is to be honest with you, that's difficult, but it's not impossible. So, that's something also that I encourage us teachers to be able to get that C1A because automatically they will give us the C2, which is the highest of the highest. So, but first of all, let me tell you how this test works. And you can see or you can look at this page in your booklet on page 7. You can see how this test works and the different ways of in how the different parts that these tests have. First of all, we're going to do the reading and use of English test, which is 1 hour and 30 minutes. There's something very important. As you can see, this test has 8 different parts. And for example, multiple choice close, open close, word formation, keyword transformation, a multiple choice, cross-text multiple matching, a graph text, and a multiple matching. Um, in this test, they're going to evaluate reading and use of English at the same time. So it's like 2 tests in one. So, little by little during this course, I will be able to explain to you in a very specific way. But for example, part 1, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is reading. They're going to evaluate your reading in that part. And part 2, 3, and 4, they're going to evaluate use of English. So just for you to know how this works. I also have here an example of a real test, and I think it's very, very important. Well, first of all, here are uh, the points that I was talking to you about. And for example, if you get 180 points, you will get the C1C, right? And we can see it here how this works. So if you get higher points, if you get higher than 190, you will get the C1B. If you get more than 200 points, then you will get the C1A, which equals C2. Okay, so you will also have these on your booklet so that you can have the information. And just in case, let me show you very quick how your certificate is going to look like. You will receive directly, I mean, that's directly coming from Cambridge University. So you will receive your certificate. It's going to look something like this, and it's going to tell you, well, your name is going to be here, and uh, this is going to show you which grade or which level you got. If well, in this case, this person got the C1B, right? And so this is this is how the certificate is going to look like. Remember, this is a Europe standard, so it's a little bit long. It's not like the ones that we have, but it's a very, very nice certificate. And again, comes directly from the Cambridge University. So that's something that I'm sure that is going to motivate you to get a very good grade on this test. Okay, very quick, I just want to show you how this test works or how it looks like. Just a very quick example. And you will have this test in your booklet. And well, remember, we're going to be seeing part by part. And once we see all the 8 parts of the reading and use of English test, then we're going to do this test. Remember, in this case, since we have this online course, we will send you that test, and of course, we can check it all. We can check it together. But just very quick, this is a real test, how it looks like. So we have here the part 1, part 2, part 3, and so on, right? So it's as you can see, it's a pretty long test, and something that they sometimes they have some difficulties, or some students have some problems regarding this test, because remember, you only have 1 hour and 30 minutes. So we need to practice at least well, you have like 10 minutes to do each of these parts, but you need to transfer the answers into an answer sheet. So that's why it's very important. Once we have been practicing all these different parts, then it's very important for us to practice also the time, how much time you're going to have, or it's going to take you to do this test, because it's very important for you to do it at least in 1 hour and 20 minutes, and have at least 10 minutes to pass all the answers. So in general, that's how this reading and use of English test looks like. Also, this you're going to have, well, again, this is going to be 1 hour and 30 minutes. Then you're going to have a writing test in this course, or in this C1 level. And part 1, you always need to write an essay. So that's something that you always need to do in part 1, write an essay, which is, well, both of the tasks, you need to write between 220 to 260 words. So first of all is the essay that you need to write. And on the second part, you need to choose between, in this case, a report, a review, letter or email, or a proposal. So you need to choose one of these. In the real test, you might have only 2 options, or you might have only 3. So that's why we need to learn and study and practice what's the format of each of these parts. Also, the essay has its own format. So it's very, very important for us to be able to do this part in a proper way. Then we're going to have a listening test. And in this listening test, what we really need to practice and work on is listening the British accent. We as teachers, mostly here in Costa Rica, we are very used to listen to North American English, but it's very, very important for us to practice the British accent because we're going to have a lot of that. So this test has four different parts, and again, in this during this course, we're going to practice these different parts. And of course, I'm going to send you on your WhatsApp those different audios so that we can, of course, you can do that and listen to that and practice it. I recommend for you to listen to these audios on a speaker. Why? Well, the real test, you guys are going to be in a classroom, and what Cambridge does, they have a big speaker, and you're going to listen those audios on the speaker. So that's why I don't recommend for you to use headphones. Please don't use headphones in the listening part because I really want for you to practice how I mean the real thing, how the test is going to be. And remember, they're going to be using a speaker. So if you have like a Bluetooth speaker, just practice on that because that's going to help you a lot more. Okay, so after this listening test, then we have the speaking test. And something that I really like about this speaking test, I don't have anything against TOEIC, but I really like Cambridge because the speaking test is going to be in pairs, and there's going to be someone interviewing you face to face, and it's not going to be a machine, because I know that, well, I have had a lot of complaints about different teachers that, well, they have a very good pronunciation, they talk very good, and they have been, and well, some of them just called me and told me, well, Joel, I just can't believe that I got an A1 in the speaking test in TOEIC. Well, I think that this TOEIC test is a little bit subjective because, well, some machine, some other people are talking at the same time, so I don't know. But in this Cambridge test, you're going to have someone interviewing you in front of you, and there's going to be someone else on the back just checking how your pronunciation, how your answers are going to be. And there's going to be, for example, in part three, as we can see here, part three, what they're going to evaluate is the way that you interact with your partner. So that's another thing I really like about this speaking test, which is they evaluate how you're going to interact with each other. And but we're going to see again, we're going to practice these different parts and how they work. And of course, I'm going to give you some very important tips regarding this part. So in general, those are the four parts of this test. And again, it's very, very important for us to be able to practice them and to see the different tips that we're going to be working on. So that will be it for this introduction. I hope that you don't skip this introduction. It's very, very important for you to listen to it. And I guess that we are ready to start our course. So hopefully, again, Formarte English Academy is going to help you in the process. Don't worry. I don't want for you to feel alone or because, well, sometimes when you do an online course, people says, well, I'm just listening to a video and I don't feel that somebody is helping me. Don't worry, please. You have my WhatsApp number. You can send me a message anytime, and I'll be glad to serve you and to help you during this process. So once again, thank you very much for choosing Formarte English Academy, and we are very glad to accomplish your goals. And of course, we really want for you to obtain this C1 level. So thank you very much, and we will see you in unit number 1.